Hello, welcome to tea time. I am sitting in the sunniest spot I can find because it's a little bit cold today. And I do have my tea. The horses are up on the hill. You look behind me, you can see Ari there. And Atlas is eating from the hay hut. Didn't seem like a good day to disturb them. Everybody is very peaceful and sleepy and doing their own thing. So I'm doing tea time from the sun on my front porch. So this is my house, right next to the horse paddock. And the horses are out being peaceful. Thank you, Joe. I am just taking a nice peaceful day with the horses. I've been thinking a lot about games, about play. You see, in the type of horse training that I do, I don't want to put pressure on horses to learn things if I don't have to. And that's really what a lot of my experimentation is to what degree do horses volunteer to do the things that we want to do with them? And it's an experiment. It's an ongoing experiment. I was a horse trainer for a long time, and I know how to motivate a horse into learning the things that people really enjoy. So as a human being, there's a lot of games we like to play with horses. But the thing about it is it a game if both horse and human don't enjoy it equally? And in my opinion, it's really only a game if both partners get enjoyment from whatever it is you're doing. And I think that a lot of horses love being ridden. I think they love interacting with humans, but there is a whole pressure-based system about learning because the rate at which a horse wants to learn new things is not always as fast as the human does. So this is an interesting thing, how fast does my horse want to learn to carry a rider? How fast does my horse want to learn to go on adventure trail rides or jump jumps? If it's not fast enough, people get bored. And if we get bored, it's not fun for us. And that's where we get into a lot of pressure-based systems to motivate the horse to learn faster. So this week has been a lot of cleanup after the storm. After a snowstorm, it's a lot of cleaning everything up. And it's been interesting watching my horses interact with each other and interact around me while I'm raking paddocks and cleaning up manure and picking up branches and all the things that happens. And, I find that there's a huge amount of flow and harmony and peace and contentment in the herd where they really enjoy each other's company, even when they're not learning new things, even when they're not playing or pushing into each other. And this is really interesting to me because I think that when you watch horses, you get a sense of who they are without the people. And then we add the human perspective in, and absolutely, Rebecca, is it bored or impatient? Something along those lines where we want something more to stretch, to grow, to be challenged. And, I see nothing wrong with pressure-based training systems if you use them well. So the end goal is the horse is having as much fun as the human. And certainly, I worked on that for a lot of years. But now I have this luxury of being able to train horses in a way where I ask what they want to volunteer. How much are you interested in playing games with me? whether it's learning how to carry me on your back, or learning how to go for a trail ride, or learning how to navigate obstacles, or learn how to open gates while I'm sitting on your back, or, you know, learn how to cross a bridge, or play in the water, or, you know, interact better with friends. There's so many things we can do with a horse that are interesting to me, but it's specifically because I'm asking this question of how much would they volunteer? Now, there's a certain amount of things that they need just for their health, and if they're not really willing to volunteer the things that keep them healthy, we're going to lean into those pressure-based systems, whether it's food rewards or some sort of using a fence or a halter to help them make the choices that keep them healthy. But beyond that, you know, if they're healthy and they're happy and they have a good life, what more would they like to volunteer beyond that? That's what's really interesting to me. And when I'm raking paddocks or cleaning up, I'm watching them. What do they volunteer to each other? How much do they interact in a way where they push into each other's space and they push comfort and they stretch the comfort zone? I'll give you an example. Ari really likes to be approached from the middle of the neck or farther back. He doesn't really like to be approached from the front. And this is something that I know about him. And it's something that his friend Ram knows about him. And for the most part, we spend our time together approaching Ari in a way that feels comfortable to him. That's just normal life, knowing a horse. But there's some days when I start playing this game of, could I approach you from a little bit farther forward? And could it trigger interest, curiosity? Could it become a game to be right on the edge of the comfort zone? And that's how I train. If it can become a game and it can trigger some more thinking, some more curiosity, and some more engagement, then Ari looks forward to those kind of interactions. And that's the goal. If he can look forward to me doing something that is slightly outside of his comfort zone, he learns to learn. And the better he gets at learning, the faster it is that he will volunteer to do fun things. Every horse is different. They all have their unique personalities. But that's what I'm most curious about exploring, is this idea of development with the horses being a game instead of a job, and taking it at the rate they would like to take it. Now, if sometimes I use a round pen to help Atlas get enough exercise to trim his hooves because I can't trim his hooves yet, that's using a pressure-based system to keep him healthy. And it's not really a game for him yet. It's not something he volunteers to do. When he's out with the other horses, it helps him move, but he gets overwhelmed by them. And so we have to kind of play that game a little bit carefully. How much will he volunteer to move and trim his own feet on abrasive ground? And how much does he need a little bit of help? Anything beyond basic health, I'm really interested in just waiting and seeing, what do they volunteer? Pushing them a little bit in a way that's a game that triggers more good feelings. And the way I know this is because I make sure that they have space to walk away from me. And if they think that game is not fun, they can simply just turn and walk away. And, you know, I feel really lucky. Here it is. It's my birthday, and I get to live this life with horses where I explore the questions that are really interesting to me. And it's the best birthday present ever. Do I miss scalloping and jumping and showing and, you know, all those things I used to do? There's a little nostalgia about it for sure. I mean, it was very fun for me. And there were times when I felt like it was really fun for the horses I was riding. But I'm not sure that the pressure I had to put on them to get there was ultimately the life I want to live all the time. And so exploring the kinds of training where I can use less pressure means that the entirety of my life is a higher quality. It's something that I enjoy more. Christian says, I think it's very hard because they don't think very long-term in health stuff. Yes. They won't know when the hooves grow too long or it hurts them. No, it's true with a lot of people too. You know, we don't think very long-term in terms of health stuff either, whether it's, you know, what we eat or how much exercise we get or whether we sleep enough. Thinking long-term about health is one of those things I think we need our friends to help us out with. Some of us are better at than others, but I know I work at it. And yeah, wouldn't it be great if we voluntarily wanted to do all the things that were healthy for us? And I guess that's kind of what I'm exploring with the horses is, you know, what will they volunteer and what can I reinforce that they do volunteer? When they volunteer to do really healthy things, can I show them that I appreciate it and I'm in harmony with it and I'm giving them all of my, you know, awareness to be a good partner in those moments where they're doing things that are good for themselves. So, thanks, Kim. Yeah, taking the pressure off them, taking the pressure off myself. It means that there might be some impatience where, you know, I don't get end results as quickly as I might. And I do have to make my peace with that a little bit and really think, like, is this in their best interest? Are they healthy enough? Are they happy enough while we take things at the pace they want to take things? So right now, you know, I have 2 stallions, Atlas and Ari, and I really wish they could live together. I don't know if that will ever happen. I'm really exploring the ingredients, the small factors of what it would take for them to be self-confident enough to allow each other's personality types. Ari's very pushy. He wants to interact a lot. He wants to play a lot. He wants to play a lot more than Atlas does. Atlas wants to play and then gets overwhelmed and then overreacts and tends to hurt Ari or any of the horses that overwhelm him. My other horses have learned not to overwhelm Atlas so that he can live with the other horses. But Ari hasn't learned to slow down his rate of playing games to a level that Atlas stays comfortable. And so, you know, that's interpersonal adjustment or interherd adjustment. It's very interesting. Rebecca says, I think it's a compromise so long as you approach it with the right intentions. A little push, a little yield. So long as requests aren't unreasonable and you work in low stress spaces, you get to slowly increase the window of tolerance bit by bit. Very well said, Rebecca. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess what I wanted to say today is that it's a choice, you know? There's going to be times where you say, you know what, for whatever reason, this horse needs to progress faster. So we use the right tools for the job, whether that's food motivators or a halter. And once the comfort zone is bigger, then we can slow down and say, what's the game that this horse really does want to play? What are the games that are within their comfort zone? And I have an incredible luxury where I get to play, you know, games that they enjoy almost all the time. I don't have to push them a lot. But for all of you who maybe live in more of the real world, you board your horses, or you're somewhere where your horse has to do more things that are maybe outside their comfort zone, there's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's really good to be aware, did my horse volunteer to play this game? Or am I pushing them to play this game? And if I'm pushing them to play this game, what's the end result? Are they going to feel better because of it? If they are, that's great. If they aren't, well, maybe we could adjust something. Yeah, Sabina, goals can change. And we do build a better relationship as we decide what to do next. So I'm going to go back out and play with the horses, Amari and Rom, and I'm going to spend my birthday exploring what things they volunteer to do and seeing if I can enjoy that too, without being impatient or wanting too much else. And look for those opportunities where maybe they're a little bored or a little bit impatient themselves, and I can introduce something that's more of a game, and they say, yeah, that's fun. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, let's stretch the comfort zone a little bit, because that triggers interest and curiosity. So those are my thoughts for today. Thank you for all the happy birthday wishes. I'm going to go out and play with the horses, and I will see you guys next week.